Just also want to share, I got text messages from Caleb. He's doing really well. He's been running Mod K. We'll try to get the specifics. He's been running Mod K on Classic Rinko, is my understanding, and has been doing this for some time. And he just says, God, it's been a beautiful thing. So we'll try to get settings and just trying to share what some folks are doing, and hope everyone's doing okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, YouTubers and stock Twitters. We've invited some folks to stop by if they'd like to. Let me just mark the time. We went live at noon. It's September 28th, and we're it's a stormy day, needless to say, here in Florida. But the markets, the sun is shining, and the bulls are running. Now we alerted our monthly members, our annual members over the last couple of days and said for this very reason, let me just show you. And in fact, when we did our live session the last couple of days, we were putting this out to YouTube. Do you recall? Let me just change this here quickly to a daily. And what did we see? We had the S&P in panic. We had the VIX in euphoria. And we put in writing that these markets were getting ready for a significant bounce. And let's just take a look at excuse me, daily. All right, and I'm going to put the VIX back to a 5-minute if you don't mind. So at 6:20 this morning, the VIX starts to come in, usually an indication that the markets might run. At 6:15, the ES on the 5-minute goes long. One mini contract, you're up $3,700. One micro, you're up 370. Got the firepower for 10, you're up 37 grand. Be a beautiful thing. 5-minute NQ, 805, $5,000. One mini, 500, one micro. 615 on the Dow, 2,500. 615 on the Russell, 2,500. Gold, 615. Now, why might gold be running? Well, the dollar has been very, very strong, nearly peak performance as the Fed has been ratcheting. And the dollar is extremely extended, and currencies around the world are getting crushed. It's hurting them. The likelihood is that the dollar probably going to go higher in time, but it's probably going to come back in. Probably coming back in today. I don't have it on view right here, right now, but if you do, you can probably see it. If the dollar is peaking near term and gold was where it was, probably a pretty good bet that gold's going to rally. We bought it the last couple of days. We trade the here and the now. This hurricane business that we're having to go through and the country is being subjected to it is really an illustration of the market. Do you notice what they say? When the storm was 5 days out, it's in a cone of uncertainty. It was all over the goddamn place. I mean, they covered from one end of the state to the other. Actually, they had the whole Gulf of Mexico covered, right? Then they had the entire state, and the cone narrows and narrows and narrows. The closer we get to the here and the now. These folks who prognosticate about where the market's going to be 5 days from now, 30 days from now, a year from now, you might as well be living your life based on the Farmer's Almanac. It's buffoonery. It's absolute buffoonery. We choose and have chosen not to participate in it at all. Well, then what are you doing, Bagger? We're trading the here and the now. And we do it every day. We're comfortable with uncertainty. We know what our job is. Come in and extract. And we use tools. That's what we're doing. If you have any questions on what it is you're watching, feel free. Last night, I think I mentioned the strategy. We it went what we call out of sync. We had a data interruption, and it came at a very inopportune time. It was when did you get a kick out of how Apple warned, right? Warned on earnings, the retail crowd. Of course, this is 45 days after they warned all the hedge funds, right? And the futures took a hit, and everyone started, oh boy, the market's going to get hit tomorrow. They're just looking for stories, looking for to be right. Um, that's just not going to get it done. Just going to add to your angst. But when we had the data interruption, the machine was out of sync and it missed the big short. So we had about a $2,000 drawdown last night. But we got the machine squared away. We got it back in sync, and she's dug her way back to be where she is for the day. So the strategy is doing pretty well for us. Our first session, I don't have my scorecard right here, was about $2,600. Then yesterday, for the strategy, was about $1,300. We added a few hundred shadowing swing machine, and then we're in here. So we're having a very fine trading session. No narratives, no there's nothing. I just why we don't have hundreds and thousands out. I refuse to show cleavage. I refuse. Just absolutely refuse to do it. and I'm not drawing trend lines, MACDs. I'm not doing any of that either. Nope. We're ready when you are. Enjoy. We'll let you watch for a little bit. If we lose our signal, or we lose YouTube abruptly, it could be that we've lost power and or internet. Yeah, no, thanks, Tina. Yeah, no. Ian, Hurricane Ian, no, he's yet to arrive. For us, knock on wood, hear me knocking. He is south of us. He's coming ashore right about now in the next hour or so down in Fort Myers, which is about 120 miles, 130 miles south of us. So we're getting some pretty good gusts right now. And then it's a pretty big eye wall. So we will experience what's left of him, probably closer to 80-mile-an-hour winds, could gust to 100 later this evening. It'll be this evening for us, probably between 8 and 11 or something like that. And then it'll dissipate over the night, and then in the morning we'll have to go out and rake up some leaves. Hopefully nothing else. So we got our fingers crossed. It's always a little. The eye wall is certainly a concern. We don't have to concern ourselves with surge here, but we're not near the ocean. But the other unsettling thing is the weather gets very unstable, and we get these. We don't get the big tornadoes that you might see, in other parts of the country, but we get little mini ones, these little downbursts, and the ground is wet, so the big oak trees are susceptible. So we got a lot of oak trees. So we're not by any means out of the woods, but right now we're just grateful that sucker didn't come into Tampa Bay. That wouldn't have been good. And we're on, as long as everything stays where it is, don't want to jinx ourselves, we're on the what would be considered the weaker side of the storm. It's the right hand side of the eye wall, the northeastern side of the eye wall that you don't want to be on. So that will be more middle part of the state, unfortunately. And but if that, God forbid that it come into Tampa, we were quite concerned. But thanks for asking. And but very similar, again, to the market. It really is. It's not, you can't project, precisely with it, when and where the hurricane's going to go. But you just, you they do well enough so that we can all hopefully get hunkered down and protected and get through it. And that's basically what we're doing in the market each and every day. Have a good day, Tina. Keep an eye on that fix. Volatility, the VIX is like the heartbeat of a patient. It expands and contracts and expands. Boom, 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 boom. And then sometimes it's rushing in and sometimes it's rushing out. It's always there. It's always going to be there. It's just that you need to know what to trade, when to trade, and how to trade around it. It's really a beautiful thing. We take a look at right here. Let me draw a box around this and let's make it a red box. Bear with me. Right here. See the VIX right here? That was today at 620. So for our members, they see that, okay, especially knowing, let's just change things for a minute. Let's just change the VIX back to a daily because we were saying this yesterday, right? Tina was here the other day and I said, okay, we have the S&P was in panic. We had the VIX on a daily was in euphoria. So what did we say? What did we do? We said, this is not where you want to get short, right? If anything, and it's hard to do, but you want to begin thinking about a bounce. Why? Because volatility will come in. The machines are programmed this way. So we drop this down to a 5-minute, and our members would have seen at 620 that the VIX was coming in. It's kind of like the tide of Tampa Bay, right? They thought it was going to be coming in. Now it's going out. Crazies are out there running around. Now we look at the S&P on a 5-minute. Notice this, 615. Just around, within 5 minutes of each other. That would have been close enough for government work, right? Long, short vol, VIX is coming in, volatility is coming in, and then markets bounce. So one mini contract, you're up 3,700. Maybe you didn't get the exact price. Maybe you're only up 3,500. Maybe you're only up $3,000. A micro, you're up 300, 360. 10 of them, you're up 36 grand. NQ, 805, a little later. Dow, 615, 615. Look at gold, 615. Why would gold run, right? Why would gold run? Well, if volatility is coming in, maybe there's a perception that, and maybe the central bankers around the world, were calling the Fed and saying, knock it off. You're killing us. Stop making the dollar so strong. You're weakening our currencies. They're at historic lows and driving up their inflation. Knock it off. So maybe he signaled, right? Maybe he's helping them. So what happens? So the dollar, I haven't seen it, but I could put it up, but it's probably come in. Volatility comes in. And then gold also didn't like a strong dollar. Then gold starts to bounce. Probably, but that's the here and the now, right? We're now casting. I'm not going to now, if we're going to go out 2-3 days, which we have and done, or I'm going to go out 30 or 40 or 45 days, I'm going to use options. I'm not going to use as much leverage. I'm going to leverage down. I'm going to use options. I'm going to define my risk. That's what I'm going to do. But, but this business of, having a farmer's almanac, the farmer's almanac doesn't help Susan and I prepare for bad weather in Florida. They've been telling us, for a year, oh, you're going to have a terrible, terrible season. Well, up until last week, we were having a great season. We didn't have any. Now we're not having such a great season, right? So the farmer's almanac is worthless. It's entertaining, but so the same is true on the markets. The Farmer's Almanac a year ago would have been telling you, the dollar is trash, right? The Bitcoins and crypto, you know, um, anything, anything far from it, far from it. It was doing just the opposite, usually is. These tools that we provide our members, we spend 3 weeks plus making sure that they're comfortable with them, understand what they're doing, because we want to empower them to make their own decisions and to use the tools. That's a far, far cry, far different from, I think, what you'll hear from everyone else. We're empowering them. It's always what I wanted to do. There is no reason why a person, we're very content and very happy with what we're doing, other people's success, but we could have a member that could be up 10 of these, could be up 34,000, could be up 46,000. We probably do, you know. Um, the process for what we do is exactly, it's virtually the same. There's a process to it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. It's just right now, it's a real overcast day right now. The storm is about 130 miles south of us, the eye wall. And so we're getting some bands coming through, no sun, pretty dark, pretty rainy, gusting. And we'll have probably 80 to 100-mile-an-hour winds, probably not, hopefully not 100, but maybe 80, 75, 80 later today. It's a very big eye wall, so it's a bigger storm. When Charlie came through, we barely even got any rain. It was so tight, so compact. But you see these, I've seen now enough weather reports that, but they got some pretty nice tools, right? But in the end, it's going to come down to the last few hours. It gets narrower and narrower, and that's what, that's you know, the make or break, right? So when you have yourself set up and you have, a quiet office, hopefully have real reliable power and reliable internet, a reliable trading platform, um, adequate capital that you can afford to lose. You're not playing, you don't want to be playing with the milk money, you know, um, scared money is hard to make money with scared money. And then, you just come in and we execute. But what our members are doing differently than what everyone else is, these trades are being presented to them no matter what they're running. We have a gentleman, one of our members, he's running a specific strategy on Rinkos. We have another gentleman that's running a specific, well, he's actually running the swing machine on smaller time frames robotically. This particular tool that I'm running, I'm watching the swing machine. This is kind of like the Doppler weather. We can see what's going on here. But this strategy, I'm running a little trading robot on what's called a Kagi chart. And we've got some specialized settings and we're running it. And I haven't done any scalping. I really haven't had a need to. Just doing fine. But I'm not hunting and pecking and, trying to, squeeze out a trade. And I'm not hyper focused on any one individual trade. Focused on, on the trading session. And we're trying to generate a profit factor. Now, what we do, the strategy has a profit factor of what it's doing during the day. But the profit factor that for me, that is important is my daily profit factor and my weekly profit factor. And I do it on the gross amount. So if I finish, let's say I was to close this, right? And I had, $1,500. I would have no losses. So that would give me an extreme profit factor. But what we'll do is we'll calculate the commissions. And then, so the profit factor will be very high. And then we do that all week. We want to have a profit factor ideally above 3. Means we're become a money making machine. And we just machined. So, but you're welcome to hang out. If we do abruptly go off, I'll try to give everybody a warning. I'm going to let you hang out and watch. But if we do, it could be because we've lost internet or power. I don't, right now it's pretty, it's just fine. But that would be the case. Otherwise, I'll try to give you a 15 or 20-minute heads up if we're going to have to turn down. Now, this strategy made a hell of a recovery last night. If you didn't hear, the strategy got out of sync, and Apple came out and warned, so we missed the short. So it had the biggest drawdown that it's had all week. Had a $2,000 drawdown, but it worked it right back, and I knew that it would. I was confident that it would. I've been running the strategy, quite a bit. That I can't give to anybody, which is confidence. You have to acquire that. And that takes time. And it just does. Just like anything else you might need or want to do. Getting pretty nasty out there. I just had to run Ted out. Let's do a little telestrator action here. So let's mark this up a little bit, right? So this is the long trade, right? Actually, let's do it this way. Bear with me. We'll do this. That's that one. That is, so this is your job, is to capture these every day. You know, just get one or two of them. Don't have to get them all. Maybe you lose on a couple, but keep the losses small. Do that just a couple times a month. Not a bad way to go. Let's rearrange that one. And now we have a member. Let's see here. I've got to erase that. I'm going to paint that red. And he's been with us a few years, and you know he's automated the I think it's the 1 and the 2 minute. He's been oscillating between the 1 and the 2 minute, and he's got it running robotically. He's had it running for weeks like that. It's like, Don, it's a beautiful thing. And I said to him, I said, you know, the market is pretty volatile right now. He goes, yeah, but when the volatility, oh shoot, when the volatility comes in, Don, I'll just ratchet things down. His confidence level is like off the charts. But you know, but he worked hard to get there, to get that confidence. He just had to go out and do it. You know, I can do it, but you won't get any confidence if I do it. You get confidence if you do it. And that's also part of the Q school, because we get you up and running right away. We want you moving, and we want you working right out of the gate to develop that confidence. We're doing something here that nobody else is doing. Nothing. The closest thing to it are the option traders, but and they're mechanical, but they don't have the liquidity. They're trading 100, 150 times a day. They're not doing it robotically, you know. So it's you know, we will use options. We did get options on when we did the live session the last couple of days. I was saying, you know, it's time to get your put spreads on. Try to, you know, get a little long bias in here. It's a beautiful thing. Now we could end, right? I could just close it. I'm going to let it run, but I could, and Tina might, you know, someone else might do something different. That's why your performance is your performance. My performance doesn't matter to you. Tina's performance doesn't, it does matter if she was a member. I want Tina to do well, but if she's a member, I want her to do well, but it doesn't have a bearing on me. I'm going to be making those decisions. Susan makes her decisions around, you know, what market she's going to trade, what strategy she's going to trade. Is she, you know, going to trade it actively? Is she going to try to trade it in a particular bias? Is she going to run a hedging strategy? Is she going to use Kagi charts? She's going to use Renko charts, going to use time charts, going to use a profit target, going to turn on at 3 in the morning and run to 8, going to run from 8 until 2, you know, any number of things. You know, that's up to the, you know, it's up to the individual person. Does it sound like a lot of work? Yeah, here it is. It is. Yep. Rewarding though. Very, very empowering, very, very rewarding when you get there. And we will help, you know, we will help you to get there, but you will get yourself there. We will develop we want you to be consciously, when we finish the Q school, we want you to be consciously competent. And then from there, you're going to get yourself to a place where we become unconsciously competent and be like brushing your teeth. You won't even be thinking about it. You just do it. It's like, just do it. In the beginning, though, it's so new. It's like everything, and so it's kind of like, you got that new set of golf clubs, and if you've never played golf before, they're gonna feel a little weird. And somebody's gonna teach you to hold the golf club. It's gonna feel a little strange. They're gonna teach you how to stand and how to move the club back and how to move the club forward. It takes time, and it may not feel right, may not feel natural at first. That's it's like learning everything, and then you get a few clicks of the golf ball, and you're like, I get it, and it becomes real comfortable. You have to go through that. We will have members say this all the time. God, Don, how come I didn't day one? How come day one I just didn't do? You don't do it day one because you are human and you haven't gone through what you need to go through. We're going to help you go through it, but we're going to help you go through it in a way that is controlled and measured, and so that it doesn't hopefully cost you a lot of money in losses, so that you can feel the confidence of swinging that golf club confidently and hitting that golf ball flush, and really learning how to do the game. Now we do a video at night for the folks who can't be here during the day, and we show them over time. Their learning curve at doing that is going to be good, but it's going to be much slower than what we're doing intraday. But intraday, I mean, it's easy for me to come in, at the end of the day, and this and not in this. I mean, but we do it real time, day after day, real time. And you've seen, we have losses, we have losses. Usually they're controlled. We make mistakes. We'll have a glitch. Last night we had a glitch, but we were able to recover from it. It was nothing, that couldn't be recovered from. And that too, needs to be learned. Now, in terms of the where we think now this market is moving, we think that the put buying got really overdone. When the market got into extreme, they started buying puts. Not a huge amount, but a few. And what happens is when they buy puts, the broker dealer's got to sell stock. But now when we get the bounce, they will begin to sell their puts, and they will begin to buy calls. And what will happen is the broker dealer will begin to buy stock to hedge that. So this could really feed on itself because we were so extreme. So I wouldn't be the least bit surprised that the S&P by Friday gets to where? 3829.78. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. I mean, it could do that today, but likely to be there. I wouldn't be surprised it does that by Friday. Now, we're going to get into euphoria. I don't know. That could take days or a week. It's possible. And when will the retail crowd buy? See, they should have been buying here. When will they buy? When we get up here. And then we'll pull back. Oh man, the market's rigged and it's fixed. Oh man, that guy, whatever, they just do it over and over again. Swing machine, 615 trade, 4,000, 805, 5,000, 615, almost 3,000, 615, 2,500, 615, 3,700. That crazy? Crazy good. We show none of these programs are for sale. Wouldn't be responsible. We provide them all to you, all of them, everything we have, everything we got. And then we give you the instruction on how to use them so that you can choose what you want to run, what you want to do. I had one gentleman, he actually, he was one of two people that went through the Q school that did not become an annual member. Um, just two. Um, and he said to me at the end of the 3 weeks, I thought, well, actually, I didn't think he did very well. He kind of disappeared on us the last week. I don't really know why. He just kind of disappeared. And I thought maybe he got hurt. And he said to me on the last week, he said, I can't believe this. I mean, this take me a year to learn this. That was his attitude. No, I can't believe this. First, he was around for 2 weeks and then he disappeared on the last week. I'm prepared to be with somebody every day. I'm like, what happened to the guy, Susie? Where is he? I'm like, I hope he doesn't hurt. I sent him text messages. Then, like on Thursday, I can't believe this. It's going to take me a year. I'm like, no, wrong. It actually takes a lifetime. I said, but for somebody like you, never, never, because he just wanted a red light, green light. That was his expectations. That's what he thinks the market is. And when you have unreal expectations of anything, I don't care what it is, you're going to be disappointed. And you're probably going to be bitter. And you're probably, you're just not honest with yourself, you know? And that can be applied to a lot of things. You got to be honest. We're very frank here. We we swing machine is not a holy grail. It feels like it sometimes, but the person operating is the holy grail. It does really, really well. It makes our life a lot easier. We have everything that we need at our fingertips. But but if people, they want to, believe what they want to believe. I'm not out to change belief systems. That's why we don't do a tabletop display at the boat show or the home show in Tampa Bay. Not everybody. This is not for everybody. It isn't. What we're doing is for probably a handful of select folks each year, and we don't advertise. So if you come by this video at a later date, probably a miracle that you found us. And our thought is that the folks that see what we're doing and it will resonate with them and it will all work out for the best. If they decide not to, it's probably best. If they decide to come, it's probably best. It's going to work for them. It's going to work for us. And it's I just have a strong belief in that it works out. And even for the gentleman that said at the end, one of two, the other gentleman, he actually did well. And he subsequently had wanted to rejoin, but he didn't like computers, right? So, and you don't have to do any programming or anything, but you do need to use the computer in a big way. And he just didn't like it. So, but the other gentleman just was looking for he was looking to jump the shark, and he wanted me to tell him that. And I never did. We do these videos. I'm always saying a person's gonna have to work very, very hard. I will work harder than you during your Q school. I will probably put in more hours than you, getting things set up, being available, making sure that you're moving along. I can say that because I've done it. Now I can only do that so many times a year. We have a limited number, right? So I don't do this for 1,000 people. Can't do that, and I won't. But it is an acquired skill, and you do have to work hard at it. we will sometimes, I share these stories. We will sometimes have folks, they'll be going through the Q school. And we say, Don, I don't understand. I don't understand. How come, it shows $3,000 or $4,000 and $5,000. And I'm not getting that, Don. I'm only getting 300 or 500 or 600. How come I'm not getting that? you know, if you've ever played golf, you know, um, and you got to hit a shot, 165 yards over water to a green that has bunkers around it. I've seen golfers, and I've played in a particular golf hole gets in their head. And then every time, no matter what club they use, they'll put the ball in the water. Every single time. Every time. They can have a great round. They're focusing on the water or they're focusing on the sand, right? You want to hit away from trouble and you want to focus on what it is you want to accomplish. You want to visualize. And you also got to come at this trading, whether you're with us or with someone, although I don't know anyone's doing like this, you have to have a belief in yourself. I'm not going to, we're stock market caddy, but I'm not going to be carrying your trades. I'm not going to be hitting the shots. You will be. And that isn't for everybody. That's why I get a little queasy when folks ask me, well, what is your performance? Like, well, do you understand? It has nothing to do, your performance has nothing to do with mine. It doesn't. I mean, you will learn, we will teach you, but you've got to go out and play the game. You got to hit the shots. You got to tee up the ball. Yeah. You got to decide what club to hit. Shot after shot after shot. And most people probably say, oh, screw that. That's too much work, too much risk. I can't be bothered with that. Oh, that's gambling. That's this, they got their mind made up. And they're focused on the water. They're focused on the sand trap. They're focused on the negative. There's a lot of that. We never could have done what we've done and continue to do if we focused on the failure. We failed a lot. Don't get me wrong. We did. Wasted a lot of time and a lot of money on some things. And I do look back and say, geez, I wish I had done this, wish I had done that. And Susan always reminds, Don, how would you have known if we hadn't failed? She's right. Okay. I should have known. Yeah, okay. You do, but what we try to do during the Q school is you will have failures, but you want them small. You want them small in life. You're going to make decisions looking back. We do, I don't ponder it. I don't spend a lot of time. We're talking beyond trading that, that weren't the right decisions maybe, but they were right at the time. But you just want to be, well, we have, one of our members, I'll borrow his term, aim small. What was it? Aim small, miss small. I think aim, yeah, but miss small. Don't come in and bet. I saw something was a viral video of a woman talking about her husband or boyfriend. It was her husband, and he lost like $150,000 in a matter of months. Was he aiming small? Hell no. He have any idea what he was doing? No. Did he learn anything? No. Does he have any chance of getting the money back? Probably not. What he did was reckless. Not just for himself, but for his wife. Reckless, selfish. And there's a lot of it out there. And they're motivated by greed and arrogance. But they say that there are no, bold pilots, You make a mistake flying an airplane, you're only going to make one. So, anywho, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a shout. And I'm happy to explain what it is you're seeing if I can. The Swing Machine is our flagship product, Swing Machine Plus. It's just one now of 70. The trade that went in up there in the left and what's running here today is not in view. We can robotically trade this though, right? So if we probably do have members that this trade went in, and that's how much they would be up. Now maybe they came out with 1,000 or 1,500 or $2,000 or 2,500 or maybe $2,000 or $3,000. Oh, well, thank you. Oh, thanks, Tina. Yeah, I'm familiar with them. I subscribed to that one time years and years ago in the 90s, and it was okay, but no, but it didn't, you know. I do think that, there's a you've heard it. I've, you know, I think a lot about this. Why? And I learned though, right? So I learned from our members that come in, and there's some members that may struggle and that may, but hopefully everyone's, in a really good place. And maybe some more than others. And but why is that? Why is that? And it's always a little different, but we learn, and so I've learned to recognize some things in some of the traders that they may or may not recognize, and can make some very strong, concrete recommendations, not to buy or sell, but how to conduct themselves, and from a trading standpoint, and what steps they have to do specifically to get the job done and to get moving forward. You've got to move forward. You've got to, go forward and hold ground. And you can see here on the 1 minute, we are dipping here a little bit. Now, I could go in and close that trade. I'm watching it closely. I very well may, but thank you, Tina. Okay, so we just took that trade, right? We took it. And so we're to the good. And if the machine goes short, we'll go short, and we'll try to let it manage. But these 5 minutes are, the likelihood is that they'll probably stay in place. We just on all we're doing is on the 1 minute is just dipping. Now we just want to caution everybody. Our members will not. It's lighting up short right here on the Dow, but they're not going to go short that, right? They're not going to. What type of trade is that? It's a counter trade to the 5 minute. So could you make a couple of bucks on it? Yeah, maybe, but it's better to just sit, wait it out, let others gamble on that. And if it goes long again on the 1 minute, go long. Now, if the machine is running a strategy. So if the machine goes short, the machine will go short. But I'll probably be very quick to take a profit on it. Why? Because the 5 minute has been long from 6:15, and it's likely to stay long the rest of the day. But I'll let the machine handle it. But and you can see even here, the 1 minute is trying to get long again. So it's just a little pullback. What are those pullbacks? Those pullbacks are other people's machines, not individuals, but the hedge funds. I can't tell you how many times. In fact, let's have some fun here. Let's just see if I can change this to a 60-minute. Let's just look here. 60-minute went long 3 hours ago. Watch this. When did this one go long? 3 hours ago. Isn't that crazy? See if I can get in here and change this one. I can't. I don't have enough room there, but they're probably it was all about 3 hours ago. Noon. Happens all the time. How can that happen? I thought we have a market of individual stocks, people buying and selling. How can the 500 S&P stocks and the Nasdaq stocks and the Russell stocks and the Dow stocks all move at precisely the same hour, day after day after day? And because it isn't a market of individual stocks, they're a distraction. There are huge hedge funds with huge pools of retirement money, and they stuff it in, and they chase each other around, and that's what they're doing. And of course, they're making a fortune doing it. And so that's why you see the market move one way, move the other, and it's all machined. All the other crap is just crap. All the storytelling. This industry spends billions and billions and billions of dollars on garbage. It's so disgusting to me. It's such a waste of time, waste of money, waste of whatever, but it is what it is. And I suppose it's a good thing, not everybody is doing what we're doing. Maybe it would be more difficult. They need to be doing what they're doing. I can't tell you how many people who had laser eyes blocked me, a year ago when we were saying, the dollar is getting strong, folks. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't know how many people, the apes, the gorillas, AMC, we did a video a year ago and it was at $45 a share. I said, if it breaks above a certain level, maybe, but it's likely to break down. And oh my God, they screamed and hollered and blocked me and get nasty. And whereas AMC, $8, $6, just trash. And those folks are gone. They're gone. They'll probably never come back. The market's rigged. It's a big ripoff. It's this, it's that. Capitalism sucks. No. Their expectations weren't real. They didn't know what they didn't know. And when you don't know what you don't know, you can't learn anything. So they're just doomed. I mean, would you, if you're in Conway, New Hampshire, North Conway, and you go to the LL Bean store and you're like, oh yeah, I think that mountaineering thing looks like fun. I'm going to buy myself some shoes. I'm going to buy myself some pickaxe and some ropes and you look the part and you walk out of the store and you go to you're going to go climb Mount Washington. Let me know how that works out for you. People do this. They work their whole lives, save several $100,000, maybe save millions, and then just open up a brokerage account and stop pushing shit around with nothing. And I've had some folks, we're not inexpensive, but I think for what we do is incredible value, really, really good value. And I have some folks that say, it's a lot of money. If you trade futures, you know how fast you can lose it? A hell of a lot fast, pretty fast. But we spend quite a bit of time trying to, teach folks how to control that to a minimum and trade within yourself, trade responsibly. So you can see, folks, we did get a pullback in 7 minutes, 237, 7 minutes, we get 7 minutes, 170, 5 minutes just pulling back. Now I didn't go short that, but I took the profit off the strategy. The strategy put me in was fine, but I could see on Swing Machine. So I'm blending the use of our tools. And I have a robotic strategy that's running that I'm confident in, confident of what it can do. And I'm very confident in Swing Machine, and I can see what I need to see. And, I just execute the shot. And I'm very happy. I can be very happy. I don't have to keep playing, right? And I won't. We will probably, and it's getting a little dicey here too. So we're probably going to run until about 2:15 today, 2:15, and we'll need to say goodbye to everybody on YouTube. Tina, it was good to see you. And if folks come by this video a little later, another day, and you want to know what in the world is this guy doing, you're always welcome to call. And we wish everyone the best. So around 2:15, we'll need to shut down. We might get one more trade in here, maybe, maybe not. It'll come from the machine, not from me. Okay, folks, we're going to need to sign off on YouTube. We're getting some pretty strong weather coming through at this point. So we wish you all the best in the market, and we'll keep you posted. We'll try to consolidate this video, probably wrap up our trading. We may not even put on another trade from here. And we'll condense it down to a couple of minutes and give you a chance to see the entire session on YouTube. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you in the market.